Here he is, of 400 amps of lithium batteries. Woo! Alrighty, so this weekend's objective is to get some of our electrics working and hopefully get all the lights working and installed. If you guys haven't seen our electrical overview video yet, I'll put a card up here so you guys can watch it, so you can see our whole setup. But for this weekend, we're going to focus on 12 volt only. First off, let's get some housekeeping out of the way. I'm not a qualified electrician. I'm just documenting this for documentary's sake, so do not follow along because I don't know what I'm doing. Alright, so the plan is to get these 12 volt lights working. Now luckily, because these are 12 volt, you can literally just connect the positive and the negative to the battery and they should turn on. Just touch this and this on there. Way! Weekend's objective is completed. First, let's get this in there and let's crack on. 40 kilos of batteries is a bit too much, to be honest. Does it even fit? I don't know. Oh my god, it doesn't fit. Alright, the middle bar needs to come off. Now that that's out, let's try to put this in there without pulling my back out. How do I do this? Can't squat. Whoa. I'm definitely gonna pull something on my... Oh, yes. Here we are. Fits right in there. And I ordered some straps and stuff to strap it all down. So now we need to sort out a Lynx distribution is gonna go there. Cut off switches, a shunt, fuse, and then a 12 volt distribution board is going to go over there. Now, I've decided I don't like this idea here, so I'm going to redo this. I'm going to take these off and instead we're going to have a double wall. So I'm going to have another ply sit in front of that ply and we're going to have all the wires there. Alright, so let's get this tidied up and then we can crack on with more electric. Okay, cool. So while we're waiting for the paint to dry, let's go over some of the electrical components that we'll be installing today. This is one of them. This is the 12 volt distribution board. To get power to this, we first need to go to a bus bar. We'll be using the Lynx Power In. The only thing that's missing from the Lynx Power In is these bolts at the bottom. So you can buy these, they're dirt cheap. I'll put a link in the description. And I'll put a video in the description as well that will show you how to do it. Once you have these, you can fuse stuff. Cool, so your fuse will go on top of here. You'll have a washer, lock washer, and a nut. Have a washer, lock washer. Where's my nut gone? Where are my nuts? There's my nut. And now you have a fuse connection, so the positive power in from the battery will come in here, negative through here. That then energizes this bar, this gets fused, and then your positive for this 12 volt fuse bar will go in here, and then your negative will connect there. Before we get to that, we need to add a cut-off switch, and we will also add this shunt. Before the power comes into this from the batteries, we also need to add this, which will hold our massive fuse. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add this switch directly onto this bus bar, and same with this shunt. Problem is that the screw from the shunt is, I think it's M10, and it doesn't fit in the hole. So we're going to have to drill that out, and it's same with this switch. It's an M10 bolt and it doesn't fit in here. So we're going to have to drill this out to slightly bigger size, and then we can get these guys connected on there.
1 hour later.
You know what's the thing about building a bloody van if you're a beginner? So it doesn't matter how prepared you think you are never prepared enough. I didn't have a 10mm drill bit. And look, I have this drill piece collection. I didn't even think about it. Whoa, there's shavings everywhere. Oh, it's not even that hot. Woo! Okay, I should probably clean all this stuff up. washer, lock washer, nut. It looks like this screw 10mm M10 by 10mm is going to be too short now that this buzz bar is on there. So what I'm going to do is I actually picked up some 20mm somewhere. Now this makes it that it's slightly too high, so we'll mount that underneath the links just to make sure these are level. You can see now it fits pretty much perfect. So our shunt is on, and now we need to mount our switch. Now the cover is on, I'm going to flip it over so we can make this connection. Washer and a nut. Alright, so there's our setup so far. Imagine this is going to sit on that wheel arch box. This main fuse is going to sit somewhere here, and we'll have a 95mm cable connect between these two. And these are M8 bolts. Cool, so let's talk about wire lugs. These wire lugs come in different sizes, 95 to 8, which means M8. So because we'll have a 95mm cable, we need to use a 95/8. But for example, on the shunt, this is a 10mm, and on the battery I think it's an M8. So on one end of the cable we'll have to use a 95/10, which looks like this, and on the battery end we'll have to use a 95/8, or whatever the battery terminal is. So it's something to keep in mind with these wire lugs. You want to make sure that you use the right size. Let's put this up to figure out exactly where it's going to go. Cool, so I'm thinking this bad boy is going to mount somewhere here, and then the master fuse is going to get mounted somewhere here, so we can have a 95mm cable going into that main switch. Now what I want to check is this thing is pretty heavy, so we need to mount it to something solid, and I know that this is only 5mm. We added some battens behind here to mount this to, so I just need to double check that, and then we can mount this on. Cass will kill me. So there's one here, here. I think I'm going to take this front panel off so I have an easier time getting in here. Woo! Now I can get my hands in from underneath. Oh yeah, I need my extra piece of ply. I mounted that, and I also made a 95mm positive that I screwed onto the switch already, because I'm worried that once I mount this on there it's going to be really tight to be attaching things. So it's already marked out roughly where it needs to go, so I'm just going to pre-drill into the batons. I got these tiny little washers to go into the plastic, because it's only little plastic holes, so I thought that will give it some extra support. Let's mount this bad boy. Cool, we look pretty level. One more, baby, one more. My washer, where is my washer? I had one more, I promise. Woo! Cool. Now, need to figure out where we want our master fuse. So that will go on there. I know for a fact that I have a batten here. If I want to give it extra support, I should really put it here. I still need to screw in the shunt as well. I think I'll put it somewhere here. Kind of like it that it's far away from the negative, so it's hard to get in contact with both. This is going to have a cover anyway, but I'm just trying to make this as safe as possible. I guess the negative terminal is here, but so you could, when you are unwrenching it, you could touch this, which is not great. Might put it higher up like this. Dilemmas, dilemmas, dilemmas.
2,000 years later.
We're back.
We're
And
back
look who I
together.
found. And I have myself a little electrician apprentice today. We finally have a weekend, one day and a weekend together where she's not busy working. So let's crack on with the electrics.
Woo. So here's the fuse situation. After 1,000 years of thinking about this, I've decided I'm gonna do it this way. Also, if you're triggered by the black heat shrink on the red cable, so am I. I forgot I only have black. I'll buy some red and I'll fix these later, but I want to get the lights up and running. So I mounted it this way, and some of you might be thinking, how is the plastic cover gonna go on? And I'll show you that now. Okay, so here we are with another fuse holder, and this cover is supposed to go on like that, and you think, how am I going to add my cable sideways? Well, it doesn't matter, because even if it was like this, the 95mm lug doesn't actually fit over the cover anyway, so I'll have to modify this cover either way. It doesn't matter which way the cable go. So I'm just going to cut a square in this plastic so our cable lug can go through. Another thing with these fuse holders, I haven't actually seen anyone have the same problem, and I watched about 1,000 videos, is that once you put the 300 amp fuse on, the 95 lug doesn't actually fit over it. So what I had to do is get a metal file and file this edge off. Honestly, one of the best things we ever bought is this metal file. I think I use it every day. So yeah, that's the pickle with this fuse situation, but now we can crack on. So we wired a few more bits. We wired in the 16mm for the 12V fuse box, and I also temporarily connected this light to cheat our objective in case I don't have time to do the lights above. Anyway, we've also done our fuse panel board. We cut a hole here and here, so all our positives is going to come out of here and all our negatives are going to connect onto here. We're going to have a conduit run at the bottom that will hide this hole and the cables, and a 230 volt. So yeah, the only thing we need to do now, oh, one more thing, I connected the shunt positive from this. It goes around and it connects to the positive fuse bar on the Lynx. That has an inline fuse, so that's all good. And now what we're gonna do, before we connect our two positives and negatives to the battery, we're gonna do a sanity test to make sure that everything is working as expected. So I'll give you a quick rundown on how I do that. So we need our multimeter, put it on continuity. If you touch the positive and negative, it should give us a little beep like that, which means that we have connection between those 2 points. What I do is I track all my cables starting from the battery all the way through the system. For example, the battery positive I touch on here, which should go to the fuse. We have a connection there. Through the fuse we have a connection, so that's good. Goes to the switch. We have no connection to the bus bar because our switch is off. So if I turn the switch on, now we have connection. So this way I know for sure that the switch is working, but we'll test it again. And then I come down to my fuse. I have a connection to the 16mm, and then the 16mm goes off to our fuse board over there, and I do the same thing with the negatives. Now probably one of the most important checks is to check if you have short circuit anywhere. So I check the negative bus bar and the positive. So power is on, there's no short circuit here, and I'm just checking if there's short circuit between here and the negative. There's no short circuit. And one last thing I check is between here and here. So I'll add the fuse, they just slots there. So now that I think nothing's gonna blow up, we're gonna connect the battery and see if that light turns on. Yay! Alright, so I'm going to connect the negative first because we were close to the positive, so I don't want any fireworks. That goes on there. Cool, so that's tightened. I'm going to put this little cover on I made.
He didn't make it, he bought them.
Yeah, I bought them, but I had to customize it.
Didn't make plastic.
Ready?
Yep.
Also, the main switch is off, by the way. So when I touch this, nothing should happen. Even the shunt shouldn't turn on. Ready?
Yep.
Cool. So that's tightened down. Like so. Oh my god, that scared the hell out.
Stupid thing.
Put that cover on this, so we're not gonna touch anything across that accidentally. Let's check power at our fuse board. Positive, negative. We got no power. Turn our switch on. Hopefully no fireworks.
Puff, puff, puff.
Positive. Yay! We have power. Okay, well now we have power. This light should turn on. Hey! Cool. So now instead of hardwiring this light in, I just need to grab one of these thousands of wires and connect all the lights up there.
It's working!
We got our shunt working. We have 13.08 volt, which is good. And if I turn this light on, we should see some draw. There we are, 0.14 amps we're drawing currently, and time remaining in the battery over 10 days. So that's good. If you leave this light up, it should be fine. Alright, it's getting dark, so what I'm gonna do is wire up the rest of the lights, and it's gonna be a successful weekend objective completed for once. We have power, we have lights. The van is an absolute mess and it needs a big tidy up, but I really wanted to get this finished. The warm touch lights look really nice and cozy, and they do work. If I touch, they turn off. And they are a lot brighter than I expected, so they should work out perfectly. I'm missing 2 lights at the front. I need to order 2 more. I'd say it's definitely a successful weekend. But yeah, this is it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching, and let us know what you think of half done electrics. Stay tuned for next week. Bye.